I love that tune. That is a European, a guy called Simon Brake, stolen recording artist from 2010, and that was The Settler. So I'm Marc Riley here in Salford, Media City, whilst in London we have Robert Forster and his mates. Robert.
Mark, hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm all right. How are you keeping?
Fantastic, wonderful.
Excellent stuff. So I can only presume that you've been in Maida, Vale quite a few times previously in your career.
I have been a few times. I think it's 3 or 4 times in the 80s. Haven't been back since, and we're in Studio 3, which I am certain I've never been in before. It's fantastic. Not as good as Salford.
Well...
Okay.
I know, mate, I know. We did what we could for you. I tried to get my Learjet to come and pick you up, but it's not got any fuel in it, and so we had to keep you in London. But, you know, you will have worked in Studio 4 and possibly Studio 5 in Maida Vale, and I know you're a massive Bowie fan. I was hoping you were in Studio 4, then I could say to you, you were probably stood in exactly the same place that David Bowie stood in when he did a session for Mark Radcliffe and I, but you're round the corner. You're still feeling the vibes there? I mean,
totally got the... Well, you know, we're getting the Beatles vibe. I mean, we've got that one, but I did know about Bowie.
Yeah, he did lots of sessions there. But anyway, it's about you tonight, mate, not David Bowie. So you're going to do Inferno, Brisbane in Summer for us now, aren't you? Yeah,
that's our first track.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, Robert, get to it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. On Monday, the grass a disgrace. Mowed the lawn Tuesday, the grass in our face. The jungle is coming, and so is the drought. The people are screaming. Let me out. Oh, that ice.
Wonderful stuff, absolutely brilliant. Robert Forster live in session, Inferno, Brisbane in Summer. And Robert will be coming back to you in about 20 minutes for the rest and the chat, if you don't mind.
No problem, she'll be here.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay, speak to you shortly. Okay, going to play for you now, Du Blonde and Ace Tone.
In the corner standing like a portrait buckled high upon your mother's walls.
So Marc Riley here in Media City, and in London we're going to go back now to Robert Forster. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Mark.
Did you enjoy that?
I did. I enjoyed it. I've dug every track you've played, and you played 2 of my old favourites, Peter Perrott,
right?
Who's a hero of mine, and was that a new track?
Yeah, it's off his new album actually.
Ah, that was really strong.
Yeah, it's great.
and television, of course. The best debut album of all time, you described it, and I'd have to agree.
Would you really? That's good, because I'm always right, and then it means we're not going to have a fight now.
No fight at all. And like you, I can remember buying it, and I imagine like you, and just being absolutely amazed.
Yeah, it absolutely blew me away, even to the point, you know, of when I bought... did you buy the deluxe version of it that came out probably 10 years ago? And it had some slightly different versions, very different versions, actually, of some of the songs on there.
No, I didn't.
It's bizarre, because it's almost like you're on a train line, and then it veers off and goes off over a field, because... I know it so well. I know every beat and every note of that album. And when either Verlaine or Lloyd go off in a different direction, it just kind of gives you the wobbles a little bit.
So these are outtakes. Like it's not different. It's like the guitar solos are different, or arrangements slightly.
It's the solos really. Yeah, just where they're off winging it. I mean, it's really great. I think they made the right decisions with the tracks that ended up on the album. But you should check it out. It is brilliant.
Okay, I shall.
As are you, of course. So you're going to do 2 more tunes for us, and we'll have a chat in the middle. So what's the next song then, Robert?
It is going to be a track. It's track 4, side 1 of Inferno, the album, and it's called The Morning.
Fabulous. Okay, get to it. Thank you.
Another night that I've survived. My dreams have chased me to this place where I've arrived. Thumbs at the door. It's knocking. Tell myself as I cross that floor, the sun's at the door. It's knocking. The morning is a friend. It's before me. The morning is that
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Robert Forster live in session in the morning from Maida, Vale, squirted up the line. So, Robert, would you mind introducing your bandmates, please?
Okay, on drums, Magnus Olsson from Sweden. On bass guitar and vocals, Jonas Turell, also from Sweden. On my right is Scott Bromley from Brisbane, Australia, and Karen Boimler from Bavaria on vocals. Yes, on vocals.
Fabulous. Okay, and I know that you've been doing some dates and you've got some coming up as well. In fact, you're in Manchester in a few days, and we certainly aim to be there. The album is Inferno, but the tune also that was the lead track from the album. The jungle is coming up to the door, the birds that are calling are hard to ignore. What's going on there then, Robert?
It's Brisbane, where I live, and it's summertime. And I'm lying in bed at night, and it's about 28 degrees at midnight, and I can't go to sleep, so I jot down in my diary, I'm living in an inferno. The lawn and the leaves are growing through the windows, and it's the F word was used in there as well, which I can't repeat on BBC Six. Hot. And then it just sort of grew into a lyric over the next couple of days, and then I wrote the tune. So it's a Brisbane summer night song.
Right, okay. Do you write much of your material at night, late at night?
I haven't. I find guitar playing and songwriting and ideas in general very early in the morning and night in the evening. I can't hardly remember a song I've written in the afternoon. I don't find afternoons inspirational.
Right, okay. You often mention this particular tune, but I presume, are you a fan of Smog and Bill Callahan?
I do. I very much like... Why do you mention that?
Because he's just got this song, and again, I have mentioned it before, but hopefully not to you. It's a song called I'd Mar Clack Shaw.
Oh, yes, I know that song. Yes.
And it's all about where he dreams that he's written the greatest song ever. And in a blur, he gets up and he writes some stuff down and then goes back to sleep, hoping that he'll be able to put it all together the next morning. And all he's written down is a nonsensical I'd Mar Clack Shaw. It's just a great song about writing songs while you've been asleep kind of thing, that's all.
Yeah, actually, we were playing that song in the band van the other day. And I actually he was probably waking from a dream. I was sleepless, and so it made a little bit more sense, perhaps.
It certainly did. Yep. Okay, so you recorded the album in Berlin, didn't you?
Yeah.
How come?
Because the engineer producer Victor Van Vught was living there, and Victor has probably made albums and engineered albums that your listeners and yourself would know. He's worked with PJ Harvey and a lot with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Beth Orton, a lot of people. And I've known him for a long time, and he has a studio there. So I wanted to work with Victor badly because I just like his sound and just what he does in the studio. And and he has a studio in Berlin. If it had been in Madrid or Bristol, I would have gone there. It was for him.
Right, okay. And it's funny you mentioned the sound there, because also I read an interview with you recently.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to throw it back at you now, mate.
Okay.
But no, you say the sound of the record reminds you of Ziggy Stardust. And I know you're a massive Bowie fan, because we've spoken about this previously.
God, did I say that?
I know what you mean, though.
Oh, really? Oh, good. Okay. Well, see, a few people have said that there's a sort of 70s feel to the record, which I hadn't even thought of. And they also mentioned solo albums of Lou Reed from the 70s. And I wasn't shooting for that at all, wasn't thinking of it. And when people started to say it, I could understand it. For some reason, the sound of the record and just the songs, it just fitted. It's just one of those sort of lucky accidents, I guess. But Bowie, I must have been out of my mind to say Ziggy Stardust. But let's stick with Lou Reed.
We'll stick with Transformer, I presume they're talking about particularly. But it reminds me of Ziggy, actually. I mean, and the Ronson work on it.
Oh,
and just
my God.
That sheen on it, from the guitar.
Yeah. Look, that was definitely a thing. When Scott and I, who's beside me, when we're working on Inferno, the single track, we were talking about guitar. We were just sitting down with two guitars, and we're talking about the guitar sound. And I was sort of going, like Paul McCartney in the early 70s, like that Junior's Farm, all that sort of stuff. Great guitar playing, really quite simple. And then Scott started to play, and it went on to Phil Manzanera, who's a favourite of Scott's. But Ronson is always close, and Ronson is from that era, and he's just unbelievable.
Yeah, one of the best, and underrated, I think, by lots of people.
Totally. Yeah. Would have to be in the top 5 English guitarists of the last of the electric era.
And funny enough, you mentioned also Transformer. He plays on that, and he also did all the arrangements and produced most of it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and played piano. He's talking about YouTube. There is an interview with him done late in his life where he's sitting in a theatre, which I've seen many times. And
it's a Hammersmith Odeon, that's right.
And he's just the most humble, beautiful person, and he just reeling off all the licks. Absolutely fantastic. And he says he hasn't played them for 20 years, and he just plays the introduction to Ziggy Stardust and plays like Gin Ginny and stuff, and it's just like wonderful to watch.
He's almost embarrassed about his own talent, isn't he?
I know, which I think held him back. Because it's an ego business, Mark, and Mick Ronson had virtually none.
Rob Hughes and I have been doing this Davey Bowie podcast for forever and a day. It's like a year and a half almost. And everybody, all of the different pockets of research that we go into, it always just comes out that Mick Ronson was the nicest guy ever and the most humble guy ever. I mean, I met him briefly once in 1975, just waited outside a hotel. He and Ian Hunter came out, and we got their autographs and just were starstruck, and then let them disappear into Manchester. But it's a great quote from you. You said, "Glam was a major part of my life growing up. Expect more." So you're going to get a jumpsuit and stuff like that?
Well,
for the tour?
I don't know. It's a period that has come back to me. That I was also a huge Roxy. The first show I ever saw was Roxy Music, 1974.
Right.
And it was just, like everyone in the band made an impression, especially like Brian Ferry coming out after the band had started, and then he came on stage, which coincidentally we've been doing on this tour, and Phil Manzanera on guitar, and like just playing at a volume that you could hear for about 8 miles away, and for like the 17-year-old boy, it knocked me out.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest.
It was a great first concert. It's something one of the few things I can brag about, perhaps.
I saw that tour as well. That's where they wore the army gear, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. And they were just, and it was, like they'd just done 3 albums, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, well, that's a good one to have. I mean, a lot of people have to lie about the first gig, don't they? Funnily enough, we had my first gig was Mott the Hooper with Queen supporting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we had Ian Hunter, Ariel Bender, and Morgan Fisher, who played on that particular show. They came in and did an interview with us around about 3 weeks ago. It was so great. They were so brilliant.
They're on tour in America, I hear. They're doing their first tour in 35 years or something.
No, they've been over here as well, and I went to see them the following night at the Academy in Manchester, and they did Saturday gigs and dudes, but they did Marionette and a bit of Crash Street Kids and stuff. It was ace. You would have loved it. Oh. Really great.
They must come to Australia.
Well, yeah, they may do. It just depends. I mean, Ian Hunter is 80.
I know. He's 2 years older than Dylan. It's freaky. But he looks good for 80, I must say.
He looks amazing. We were talking about it. It's funny because he was talking about how, what did he say? He said whilst everybody's doing cocaine and all of these drugs that speed your heart up, he was taking Mandrax and Downers. And he said it's like a car. He said if you push it, it'll conk out. But if you just take your time with it, it'll last forever. And then he went, I'm nearly 80. And I said, I know you are, Ian, on the 3rd of June, I think it is. So there's a lesson to be learnt there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's health advice from Ian Hunter.
It is. That's first-hand. Brilliant. Okay, so also, I just want to mention quickly, mate, the Go-Betweens documentary, Right Here. Right Here, is that what it's called? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
sorry.
Naturally, you can probably tell I've not been able to see it, and I need to rectify that. But how was that for you? How was it looking back at your career in such a way?
It was good. The film is good until 1989, and so the first 12, 15 years of the band is great. And then, like Grant and I came back and did 3 albums from 2000 2006. And that period is not really represented. So for the first, for the first big chunk of the band, I think it's great. I think it's really good. And I'm happy with it. And it doesn't, one of the good things about it is doesn't look like a rock documentary. It's like the guy that made it is a filmmaker, so there's a bit of, it's different. There's a sort of cinematic quality to it, which I think suits the band. And so I like it.
Right, well, I need to check it out.
I don't think anyone you asked, like if you ask anyone in a band and a film's been made about the band, I don't think, by an independent filmmaker, I don't think you'll find anyone that will go, I think it's, amazing. I think it's really good.
Right, okay, great. Well, I'm going to watch it anyway.
Do.
Fabulous. All right, then. So you've got one more song to do, but I need to just mention where you're playing. So tomorrow night, you're playing at the Union Chapel in London.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, and on Wednesday night, Bristol, The Fleece. On Thursday, you're playing Manchester Band on the Wall. We'll be there.
Okay, can't wait to get to Manchester.
Yeah, it's a great venue, the Band on the Wall. Have you played there before?
No. Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, it was a jazz club, and it used to have the Band on the Wall, who had like a massive shelf on the wall there where a little trio would play.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And the logo is of Max Jones, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying, with the beret and all that, the jazz writer.
All right.
The most impressive thing about it of all, really, is it's a place that I played my first gig with the Fall, but there is no Blue Heritage plaque or anything, so...
Oh, what?
I know.
What year was that?
Oh, 1978.
Really?
It's just, I'm going to get my own plaque made up and bring a bit of drill with me on Thursday, I think. If it's a bit of a racket while during one of your quiet songs, it's me putting a blue plaque up.
Okay. Try a little bit of chewing gum, maybe.
I will. Good advice, mate. Much quieter as well. But we will be there. Really looking forward to that.
Great.
On the 17th, you play Glasgow King Tut's. On the 19th, you go off to Dublin, play the Button Factory, and then you play in Cork, Cypress Avenue.
Yeah, Cypress Avenue. Can I just correct you about Glasgow? We're playing St Luke's.
Ah, yeah, right. Oh, what a wonderful venue that is as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, no, very much looking forward to that. I played King Tut's, love it a lot, but St Luke's, I'm very much looking forward to playing.
Excellent stuff. Okay, and you're also doing, on the 26th of November, an acoustic evening at the Glee Club in Birmingham.
That's true. I'm doing that with Karen on violin and vocal, and we're coming back at the end of the year, and we're doing one UK date in November, December, and that's at the Glee Club in Birmingham. Just one show in the UK.
Wow, okay. All right then, so, I've enjoyed the music a lot, and the chat as always, Robert. So what song are you going to do for us now then?
It's called One Bird in the Sky, and it's the last song of the album.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Robert Forster.
Okay. Thanks for inviting us, Mark.
Real pleasure, mate. Real pleasure. Thank you.
There's no one I can see. They've gone and left the scene for me. There's little on the bones, just some dust and stones, nothing no one owns. They told me what was good, they carried what they could, and are gone. I'm here, floating in the sky. I judge the moment to arrive. Time to hit the ground, time to walk around, time to do my thing. Eat only what I eat, breathe only what I breathe. Well, that's me.
Magical stuff, so great. Robert Forster live in session tonight, One Bird in the Sky. Robert, if you don't mind, I'd like to dedicate that to Simon Raymond, previously of Cocktail Twins, these days Lost Horizons, and also the Bella Union label, because he's a big fan, he's just been on. So if you don't mind, we'll dedicate that to Simon.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you on Thursday night then. But thanks very much to all of you, you've been great.
Okay, hey, thanks for inviting us on the show.
Yeah, a real pleasure. Take care.
See you then.
Bye all. Mark. See ya. Okay. Fat White Family, Fringe Runner.
Wire from a Six Music session from 2011 with that version of 41 degrees north, 93 degrees west, and before that Vetiver and Everyday also from Six Music session, as is this. It's the extra number recorded by Robert Forster, who was in session with Marc Riley earlier this evening.
Time that I've known when my work, when my films just weren't shown. Big city screens, big city dreams remain. I did my good work while knowing it wasn't my time. Sometimes this world has its cracks. I fell through, but I can do magic to turn backs. Big city streets, big city dreams remain. I did my good while knowing it wasn't my time.
And an excellent version of Remain by Robert Forster. Rest of his session can be found via BBC Sounds along with Mark's programme from this evening. Mark is back from 7 tomorrow. I'm back from 9 o'clock. Up next on 6 Music, it's 6 Music Recommends with Lauren Laverne. And that's after Ivor takes us into a bit of Lawrence Pike and Dance of the Earth from his Holy Spring album. This is on the Leaf label. And I'll say thanks very much for listening. Till tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Nighty night, nighty night.